Hello everybody, this is Mateo, and we're going to continue this boss gauntlet, and hopefully make it to Dr. Wily, wrong game, on Let's Play Final Fantasy IV. And for this one, we have the Master Flan, which, weirdly enough, does not look like a pudding type enemy. Looks more like one of those sages. Oh well. Well, you know how usually the Flans... Bleh, excuse me, I just burped, sort of. So what do you mean by sort of? Well, I didn't make it audible. It was just kind of like a type of thing, but whatever. Type of thing. Whatever. Yeah, so you know how the Flans are usually killed by magic and stuff? Well, the Master Flan casts Reflect. So you'd better hope that your physical attacks are well enough. You know, that's actually a very good thing that that black Flan stuck around, because otherwise the Master Flan would summon 4 more Flans in its place. So I really lucked out there. So now we just gotta beat up on the Master Flan, have that black Flan there, won't do anything anyways. It'll continue casting reflected stuff onto you and hurt you for a bit, but nothing Kiraja can't heal. And then just beat it up with physical attacks. Although Flare might be deadly. Might be, yes, very deadly. Watch out for Flare. Uses all kinds of high-level magic, so be careful, but you know, whatever. Most difficult part of this fight is trying to find something that Palom can do. But whatever, it can just use items or physical attacks as needed. For instance, he's using the Phoenix down right now. And yeah. So that's pretty much the idea behind this boss. Did not mean to attack the Black Flan. Oh well. So, here's a little story for you. When I was going to open up Audacity, on my desktop, I have Audacity in the middle of 3 rows. It's the 4th to bottom one. So it's in, like, 2nd row, 4th to last one. And I have my Final Fantasy VII guide that I've been using to play through that game at the very top of the 2nd row. And I am, for whatever reason, instead of clicking on Audacity, I clicked on that. I have no idea why, but whatever, it's just some stupid thing that I did. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII as a nice segue, I am almost done with that game. I am in the middle of the final area on the 2nd disc. And then after that, it's just like 10 or so side quests and then the final area. And then I'll be done. So, hooray for that, I guess. Will I do a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII? Maybe eventually, not immediately. I'll probably end up doing the Final Fantasies in order that I beat them, which is why I'm doing 4 first, and then we do 1 and then 2, and then 13. So, big jump there. I don't know. I had yet to figure it out. We'll figure it out eventually. So yeah, we got the Triton's Dagger, which is a new weapon for Palom. He's left-handed. And it's a short sword with the power of water. It has pretty good attack power too, so we can use it for attacking if necessary, although it still won't do much because he's in the back row, but whatever. Either way, we can use the cottage now, escape the dungeon, bring Edward into our party as well as most of the regular party to fight the monsters that we missed. There are a few, and get the last item and fight the last boss here. But I'm not going to make you sit through me going through this I'm not going to make you watch me go through this dungeon a 2nd time. I'll just cut to all the stuff and whatnot. And yeah. So I'll meet you there. Once we leave Mount Ordeals, because I must make that viewable. Okay, run away, we're still floating. Oh well. There really is no point to fighting those guys. Okay, so, hello, we're back here again. And we have Edward. Oh, great. Of all the people, Edward's the one that caused the little screen glitch thingy. Oh well. So yeah, I have most of my normal party here, except for Edge. He's currently being replaced by Edward. Yeah, because Edge is probably the least useful out of all of them. Kane maybe, but you know, whatever. So yeah, we have the Gigas Worm. Pretty powerful physical attacks. Is it counter-attacking whenever we attack it? I don't know. Either way, Tsunami, Bahamut, not Tsunami, Leviathan or Bahamut works well. Does quite a bit of damage. Since we have a regular party, we should be done with this soonish. Edward, completely useless. Especially without a harp, because I sold that. Not doing very much at all. Even with a harp, he'd be meh at this. He'd only be doing like 500 to 1,000-ish at this point, I'm guessing. He really is not that good. Almost ever. See, he just ran away. He does that often. Whenever he's in critical health, he will hide, and then you'll tell him to reappear, and you'll try to get Rosa to heal him, but by the time Rosa gets the heal off, he would have hidden it. He would have gone into hiding again. So he's just really annoying to deal with when he does stuff like that. Like, watch. I will have him appear. Luckily, Rosa's turn is right after his, so we can get a Curaja on him. Except he was already at full health, so why did he run away? I must have, like, healed him right before he hid. Whatever. Vampire, actually kind of deadly on this guy. And then Edward runs away, and we all sigh. Oh well. So, yeah, let's see how much Mega Flare does compared to Leviathan. Being Gigas, I thought he was weak to water. Apparently not. Bahamut works just fine. We were like 303 off the damage limit, and then Edward was like 9,907 off the damage limit. Sigh. Okay, continuing on with the setup. You think with a name like Gigas he'd use a Quake spell, but no, he just seems to be into physical attacks and Vampire, and Vampire does not do much ever. This thing kind of looks vampire-ish with the blue melding with the blood red. What are those? Hairs? Feelers? I don't know. Whatever they are. No eyes in the teeth. Definitely a vampire. Vampires don't suck. They scrape and lick. Props if you get that reference. Can't do the voice though. Oh well. Ow. Okay. If you heard that popping, that was me adjusting my sitting in the chair. And it going back some. And then my foot. No, not my foot, although I was moving my foot back down. So yeah. Could we finish this maybe? Ready for long and drawn out boss fights? At least after this we just have to fight a couple monsters and then we can go into the final dungeon. So, hooray for that. Curaja-ing up. How does that work as a verb? Curing up. Oh, the cure only goes for 100. Oh, finally, there we go. And with that we get Apollo's Harp, which is a weapon for Edward. It'll allow him to do like 500 to 1,000 damage at this point, I believe. But it actually gives him a pretty good jump in his attack power, which is surprising. Still doesn't mean much. And I have yet to figure out that whether the musical instruments are long range or short range, because you'd think that they'd be a long range, but I don't know. It just seems like everybody's saying like it does less damage when he's in the back row or something. I mean, in all the guides that I looked at to see if Edward was actually useful and stuff like that, and what battles he would be useful in against certain monsters, it just wasn't there. But whatever. Here we have the Great Marlborough, and luckily he used Bad Breath on Cecil, so he'll just keep on casting Cure and not being able to do that because of silence, and even so, he'd just be attacking everybody for 1 damage because he's a toad. But, yeah, like their cousins, they just do Bad Breath on one person and they get a million status ailments. This guy also uses Doom, which puts you on a 10-second countdown, and then that 10, well not necessarily seconds, because it stops for animations and stuff. You see it is yet to go to 9, just because of everything that's going on. Wow, okay, but Doom puts you on a 10 countdown, and then once that countdown runs out, you get, well, you die. No matter how much HP you have, you die. Okay, and here's another guy, Yellow Dragon. He's actually he was actually the last monster on the front page of my checklist, so that's pretty awesome. We just have the back page now, which we've actually been working on a bit. I missed the Yellow Dragon. Apparently you could find it in the sealed cavern, but I was never able to. And now here we are at the Crystal Palace. Seeing as how I finished up all the side quest things, it's finally time to go see if Golbez and Fusoya were able to defeat Zemus. Now, why we need to go here, I don't know. I mean, Golbez and Fusoya, why am I forgetting his name? They seem like they'd be able to take down Zemus. I mean, Golbez was able to keep us at bay for 20 hours, although that isn't very difficult. But, whatever. Let's just go check out how it's going. Maybe say hi. Maybe once they're done we could have cake or something, even though it's a lie. And the crystals will explain things. I actually didn't know that. But whatever, doesn't really matter. And crystals will guide us to the core. After a quick disco rave party. Huh, it's funny. Everybody has their right arm up except for Riddy and Edge. I don't know why that matters, it was just something I noticed. Oh, by the way guys, we're at the core. And this is the final dungeon. I like how they have the Baron military theme playing. It's like it just reminds you of the beginning of the game and how far you've come. How you've gone from Dark Knight to Paladin, complete opposites. How Kain has gone from traitor to back on our side to traitor to back on our side. Edge has always been with us, whatever. Rydia grew up by 10, 15 years and rose up from being captured to being saved to being captured to be saved like any other princess, even though she's not a princess. But whatever. Who's running Baron now that the king and the general are dead? And Cecil and Kain are over here. Who's running Baron? I just randomly thought of that. But whatever. Throughout this dungeon you will find hidden weapons, which are basically the best weapons in the game for all your party members, along with boss fights for them. So even these guys have boss fights for their best weapons. They just aren't in a giant... actually, they are in a giant cave, never mind. Here we are in a giant cave. Looking for secret passages to get to that treasure chest. You actually get that a lot later. And we have monsters. Skipping that, we get a Sage's Staff, which is worse, I believe, than the stuff we have now. Yes, it is. It has the power to revive, but we honestly don't need that much, and if we do, we'll just use a Phoenix Down. So, yeah. Going into this teleporter now. We can find a secret passage. Butchered that, hooray. And pointless. It's actually a very pointless secret passage. Well then, however, this is not a pointless complete side section, because this actually leads to, once we can find it, the very first weapon! Yay! But we will get that next time.